Hey guys, so you want to get better on the guitar, you want to be able to play those rocking leads and be able to play all those different guitar licks. Well, it's all about scales. Scales are what builds up your finger strength, your dexterity, your speed on the guitar and everything. So anyway, I'm going to go through all that theory now, so stick around to the end, and I'm going to give you some scales, some things to be practicing so you can go to that next level. Please take a second, click on the like, the subscribe, comment, share with any of your friends that you want to share with, and we'll get started as soon as we roll the intro.
I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago.
Hey guys, honestly, I don't know if anybody actually enjoys practicing scales over and over. Their family probably definitely doesn't. But that is what makes you good on any instrument, on piano, on guitar, on clarinet, on different instruments, is scales, scales, scales. So today we're going to go into some of the scales you can be practicing and some of the popular scales that are used in a lot of today's modern popular music, and kind of get you the scales under your belt so you can be practicing them and getting good. It's what builds finger strength. That's what gets you familiar with the sounds of the notes and how the different scales sound with different music, and just knocks your skill up to the next level. Hey, we always start these videos with the basics. Coffee. Hey guys, so anyway, just a recap of what we studied so far. We have the notes of the guitar right here. You can see this is like a diagram I drew up of all the notes. This is an actual picture of the face of my guitar that I put all the notes on them and what they are. So anyway, if you need to, take a second, kind of pause the video, screenshot that. Or you can just stay here on the channel under playlist. I have all my guitar lessons, and you can watch these as many times as you want. All right, guys, so the first scale we're going to talk about is the chromatic scale. Now, the chromatic scale, it plays all 12 musical notes in an octave. There's 7 notes, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, but there's the sharps and flats. So all together in an octave, there's like 12 notes. So looking at this first picture right here, you can see that goes from the open note of E, that just top open note, and it plays every note. E, F, F sharp, G, D sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E. So if you, that's on one string. So from the open note to this 12th is exactly one octave. Also, if you went to the E on the D string, which would be, so that's an octave. Now, if you walk all the way down to the bottom open one, that's 2 octaves. So this playing on this top string, that's called a 1 octave chromatic scale on there. The first note you start your chromatic scale is a root note. So that's what they call a tonic note. You'll hear them refer to it as a root note. Basically the first note you start with. So in that scale I just did on the top string, that open E, this is going to be an E chromatic scale, because it's going to go E, F, A sharp, B, D sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E. So it's going to, that is an E chromatic scale. If I started it from, let's say, G and went down to the G note here, that would be a G chromatic scale. All right, and that's on one note. So even though the fretboard diagram that I'm looking at here, you can see these blue highlighted notes showing that E scale all over the guitar, the E's on there. So It's using the root note E, but you can use any root note you want. And whatever your root note you start with, that's the name of the chromatic scale. This is actually a pretty good exercise too, in addition to getting familiar with what the different notes are, is like getting to where you can go, take your note of E. Where all is E on the guitar, so you got E, E, so E, E, there we go. Hadn't done it in a while. So find all the E's and get to where if you name a note, you can go, there's E, 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 E. That way, anytime you're wanting to start it, you can start your scales from anywhere you want. We're going to go through some chromatic scale exercises. Now, chromatic scales aren't very musical. They don't sound real pretty and elegant, but they are great for building up finger strength, speed, and stuff like that. So they use all 12 notes in the sharps, the flats, everything within that octave. So anyway, whenever you play them, try like this picture down in here where it's showing me using all 4 fingers. Try using 1 finger per fret when you're going down these on these exercises. So, don't move your hand around as much whenever you're doing these. So if we roll down here, like here's 1 finger exercise, which is the finger exercise number 1 is just playing the basic chromatic scale. And you'll see right here, I put a double tab like I put, in case you want to learn the notes and see what the notes are, I did put when I put these on here, I put the musical notes on, how you would see them. And I also did tab, which means this is the 6th string, which is this top string. Even though it's on the bottom of the tab, that's the top string of your guitar. So just know tabs are written that way. So anyway, we're just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Go to the next string, 1, 2, 3, 4. Next one, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a basic exercise that you do, and even if you want to pause the video and take this scale exercise, I even kind of wrote down here how you play them with your fingers and everything. So it's a basic that every guitarist should just pray and be able to do this. It's even good as a warm-up. And practice alternating picking, up, down, up, down. Anyway, practice that, just going up and down the scales. It's a great warm-up exercise, and it's great as a beginner to get you familiar with your picking hand and following what you're doing here. Now, the number 2 chromatic scale exercise is more of a lateral exercise. So, this one is kind of moving around on the keyboard. It's more focused on moving up and down the neck on 2 strings than it is doing anything else. This one you're going to start on the 3rd fret. So you're going to start on the 3rd fret, and it's going to be 3, 4, 5, 6. Then move back to the 2nd fret and go 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you're going to move with your pinky, 6, 5, 4, 3. And then you're going to go with your pinky to the 7th fret here. And then do that one with the 5th. And then move to your 4th fret. And then move to 8. And then move up to your, with your pinky to your 9th fret. and then move to the 7th fret and go 7, 8, 9, 10. And then, so on this one, you're kind of practicing moving up and down a fret on it. It's a real good exercise just to get you used to moving your fingers around a little bit. Once again, down below, I put how you actually play it, where your fingers start out, where your hand moves to, and everything. So anyway, if you want to screenshot that, that's a good scale. So this next exercise is an all-in-one position with a stretch. This gets you kind of used to stretching out your pinky finger and stuff. So we're going to start this on that top open string, the 6th string, on the 5th fret. Anyway, we're going to start this on the top string here, which is going to be 5, 6, 7, 8, and then you're going to go 5, 6, 8 with your pinky, then practice going 5, 7, 8, and then 5, 7, and then instead of hitting 8, stretch out to that 9th fret. Play it. You can practice doing it that way, or you can also practice stretching your middle finger out a fret and go. So anyway, normally with it just one per fret, it would be that ring finger, and then your pinky stretches and covers that one. So then you would just go down the next one and do the same thing. 5, 6, 7, 8, 5, 6, 8, 5, 7, 9, and then 5. You could even practice that one. And then you can go down to the next string, and it does that same pattern just all the way down, getting used to playing alternate fingers like 5, 6, 8, 5, 7, 8, 5, 7, 9, 5. Try stretching your second finger to that one and repeating that one and doing it with that. So anyway, that's one you can play around with. Once again, down below, put the way your fingers go to do it right here. And this one is called a figure 8 exercise. And these are all chromatic scale exercises. And this one, you'll see why it's called that as you start playing the exercise. So if you start with your pinky on this 10th fret right here. So if you go, you got one finger per fret, and you are kind of going 10, 9, and then with your second finger on that next string up, play 8, 7, and then play the pinky up here on the, and then try playing the second finger. So you're kind of crossing, you're kind of going. So you're kind of making, that's why it's called a figure 8, because you're kind of making or sometimes I call it a crisscross exercise. So anyway, and then it'll kind of start that on the next one going. That gets you used to kind of going up and down and crossing your fingers. And so anyway, if you need to, take a screenshot of that. This is definitely a good scale to kind of practice. And, this gets your fingers used to the memory of things your fingers need to be getting used to. You're not going to get every one of these scales in this video, but I'm giving you stuff you can be practicing on. You can always screenshot these things and practice. They're all great things to practice, and they'll get you really familiar on the neck if you practice them a lot. All right, now on to the pentatonic scales. Now the pentatonic scales, you'll hear these talked about all the time in guitars. But for learning to play solos and patterns for playing blues and stuff like that, there's major scales, minor scales, and they're all centered around these pentatonic scales. So I think the pentatonic scales are probably, and there are a lot of scales I'll show you in a second, but there's The pentatonic scales are one of kind of the building blocks of blues, rock, metal, pop, folk music, a lot of it out there. So here's the 5 positions. Now, there's 5 main positions going down the neck. And the word penta means 5. So there's heptatonic, which has 7 notes per octave. This one, you'll notice I marked the octaves in green. So there's 5 notes. Penta means 5. So it's a root note is tonic. So it's a 5-note scale based off the root. So it's a pentatonic scale. So where you see these greens, the good thing about these shapes, instead of having to memorize a million notes and everything else, you remember this shape, the shape like 1 4 1 3 1 3 1 3 1 4 1 4 going down the string. So it's kind of like, so basically these positions, you want to get them. The other thing I wanted to kind of point out, and we're going to go more into this and how to tie these in a second, but if you look at position 1, the neat thing about this is you get used to playing that shape, 1 4 1 3 1 3 1 1 4. Anywhere you move it on the neck, if I play that same shape here on an A, it's an A, that particular one is an A minor pentatonic scale. If I... That's an A. If I play it here, it's a G pentatonic scale. Same shape. The root notes are in the same place. I have them marked right there. In this particular pattern I have up here is a minor pentatonic. Now to play that same, neat thing about this, your minor scales always give you a kind of bluesy, depressing, a sad, a more eerie kind of feeling. Your major scales always give you an uplifting, like, bouncy kind of music. So to turn this same shape, the shape doesn't stay. When you're going to a pentatonic major scale, the only thing you do is move that down 3 frets. So if I play that same shape here, like right here, it would be an A pentatonic minor. If I move that same shape down 3 and played it there, the root notes will change. I'll show you that in a second. But the sound of it, it's got a little bit more of an upbeat. And that's the only difference. The shape stays the same. So you may want to take a second, screenshot this. This is your 5 pentatonic shapes. I'm going to go more into it, but take a second, kind of pause it and screenshot it, unless you're just going to come back to the video to practice it. That'll be fine too. Hey guys, thanks for watching. We really appreciate you guys. And if you know anybody else that may be interested, please share it with them. We love it when you leave comments down below. Please click on the like, subscribe buttons, and we appreciate you guys, and we'll see you on the next video.